You've probably heard the saying that greed is a terrible curse, and the greed for money can turn a person into a complete monster. In the pursuit of money, people take steps they can never make up for later. Today's story is based on exactly that topic. The movie starts with a scene in the middle of a jungle road where we see a girl. She's driving her car to somewhere, and there are cut marks on her hand as if she's come from a fight. And in the car there's a bag full of money. A little further down the road, her car's tire gets punctured, but she decides to continue the rest of the journey on foot. So, she picks up the bag full of money, keeps her gun with her, and as she's walking away from there, suddenly a car comes from behind and hits her. And in that car are 4 friends named Paul, John, Leo, and Travis. These 4 were really good friends and they were heading to their cabin for a trip, but the accident happened to them by mistake, leaving them shocked. When they all check the girl's body, they realize she's not breathing. As soon as they understand that the girl is dead, one of them opens her bag and sees heaps of money inside. Seeing this, he gets stunned and tells his friends about it. Here, his friends are also extremely shocked to see so much money. Their friend Paul tells them that they should call the police and report it here because they didn't do anything wrong, but Paul refuses and tells him why not get rid of the girl's body and divide the money among the 4 of them, because with that money, they could all become really rich. Paul says that who knows how she got this money, so we can't be part of that crime. But Leo and Travis agree with John because they both really needed the money badly. After that, they all wrap the girl's body in plastic and put it in the back of their truck. And just as they're about to leave from there, a police officer arrives in his car. When he sees the girl's car, he starts investigating it, but he doesn't find anything inside. Then he sees the 4 of them in front of him, so he goes over to them and starts questioning them. He asks what exactly the 4 of them are doing here, and Paul tells him that their car ran out of gas, so they're stuck here. After that, the cop asks them about the girl and tells them that actually, this girl ran away with a ton of money, so if they've seen her anywhere they should tell him about it. But hearing this, they deny it and say they haven't seen the girl. Then the inspector goes to check their car, but they tell him not to because their tire is punctured. Hearing this, the officer starts sensing something fishy there because just a while ago they said their car was out of fuel, and now they're making another excuse. As he goes to check their car, suddenly John pulls out the girl's gun and points it at him. The officer sees it and tells him to lower his gun, but John doesn't listen and shoots him dead. Seeing this, all his friends are completely shocked because for the sake of money, John has killed a police officer. For these 3 friends, this is just the beginning of their problems. Let's see what else they'll do in the grip of greed. All the friends start scolding him for what he's done, but he tells them that if they got caught, they could go to jail and no one saw them here. Why not get rid of his body too? Now they dispose of the inspector's body, and after that they get in their truck and head off to their cabin. When they reach their cabin, they start cutting up the girl's body right there near it. Paul, watching from inside the cabin, sees how greedy his other friends have become, and he feels really bad for them. Meanwhile, John comes inside with the bag full of money, divides the money and puts it on the table. Leo and Travis are digging a hole to bury the body. A little later, Paul comes over to Travis and asks for his phone, saying it's been a while since he called his wife. He calls his wife and she asks about Travis's well-being. It seems like she's expecting Travis to be there. Hearing this, Paul asks how she knows this is Travis's number, and she explains that his phone wasn't connecting, so she already had Travis's number from before. This makes Paul suspicious, but he ignores it and starts talking to his daughter. After that, we're shown a guy named Sidney who arrives near the girl's car and starts investigating the area. As he looks around, he spots a phone there, picks it up with his finger and licks it. By licking it, he figures out exactly where the people who killed her went. So, he quickly gets in his car and heads off to follow them. When Sidney reaches there, they all get shocked to see him, but John points a gun at him and Leo searches him. Sidney has no weapons on him. They ask how he found them and he says it was really easy to track them, but he's come here to get his money back. They ask what money he's talking about and he tells them not to act so innocent and that he's just here to take his money back. Now they all get scared and take him hostage, but he tells them he's not alone. There might be his men in the jungle keeping an eye on them. Hearing this, they all start looking around but they don't see anyone there. After that, the friends decide to tie up and lock Sidney in the basement. They send Paul and Leo into the jungle to check if his men are really there or not. As they're heading into the jungle, they don't see anyone. John and Travis take him to the basement and tie him up. While Paul is in the jungle, he spots bear traps there and seeing them, he gets surprised and realizes there must be a hunter around. Suddenly, they see a hunter, point a gun at him and he starts running away, but they chase him, catch him and bring him along with them, leaving his gun behind. When they bring the hunter near the cabin, John and Travis see him and get shocked, and they all ask who he is. He tells them he lives nearby and has been hunting for many years, and his wife and kids are waiting for him at home, so they should let him go. Paul says it seems like he's telling the truth, so they should let him go, but John tells him they can't let him leave because he's seen the girl's body and could tell the police everything. But the man says he won't tell anyone anything. John asks who will commit the murder this time, and they all get shocked, telling him they can't do that. But then Leo volunteers and says he'll kill the man. He points the gun at the man, tells him to sit down, and as the man sits, he's about to shoot him. But he can't take an innocent life. John points the gun at him and says if he doesn't kill the man, he'll shoot him instead, shocking them all. Under pressure, he shoots the man dead. We see Sidney in the basement, who's been listening to all this, and he thinks to himself, now who knows what these guys will do next. After that, when John comes down to the basement, Sidney talks to him. Here he tells him he knows all his secrets, and John says he doesn't know anything. Sidney says he knows everything about the scandal John did in California, shocking John. Sidney tells them to give him his money and let him go because they only have two options. The first option is to let him go without violence, and the second is that they'll all kill each other and in the end the bag will be his. Meanwhile, Paul finishes digging the hole and buries the man's body, then goes to the bathroom and looks at himself because he feels so guilty. He's looking toward the jungle and he starts seeing the man's face because he's being haunted by it, making him feel like he's made a huge mistake. Meanwhile, Sidney tells John to tell his friends the truth about the first murder he committed. Hearing this, John starts confessing the truth to his friends. He says that actually in California he met a girl, spent the night with her, and the next morning she was threatening to press charges against him. The girl demanded a lot of money and said if he didn't pay, she'd go to the police and say he exploited her. Since he didn't have that much money, he picked up a vase and smashed it on her head, which killed her, and after that he cut her body into pieces. Hearing all this, his friends are extremely shocked. They think about how much of a scumbag he is. Meanwhile, Leo gets really angry. So he grabs a gun and heads straight to the basement. There, he points the gun at John and says because of him he killed an innocent man. John says he volunteered to kill him and just motivated him so he could do it. Leo gets furious and is about to shoot him. But then John snatches the gun from him and hits him on the head with it, making him fall down, and then he's about to shoot him instead. But from behind, Paul attacks John's head, knocking him out. When John opens his eyes, he finds himself alone in the basement, and Sidney provokes him, saying his friends have made a plan without him. They've sent Paul to hide the money because they trust Paul more than him. Now hearing this, John grabs the gun and goes outside to attack Leo. But Leo points a gun at him and tells him not to come closer, but he doesn't stop, so Leo shoots him, making him pass out. Now they think John is probably dead, so Leo goes to the basement and starts crying. Meanwhile, Paul has gone quite far into the jungle where he sees a tree with a hollow spot, so he hides the bag inside it. A little later, when John's eyes open, he finds himself in the jungle and quickly hides behind a tree because he realizes they've all turned against him. Sidney asks if he trusts Paul. He says he trusts Paul a lot, that's why he gave him the money to hide. Sidney tells him, "Do you think you'll live a peaceful life after getting this money? If that's what you're thinking, you're completely wrong because this money is a debt, and whoever takes it ruins their life." He tells him he doesn't know anything about him, so he should shut up. After that, Sidney tells him to just return his money, and he'll let them all go alive, but John doesn't understand. Meanwhile, as Paul is coming back after hiding the money, he runs into John in the jungle, who points a gun at him and asks where the money is. Paul tells him he's ready to take him there and throws away his gun, saying he doesn't want violence, so follow him. John starts following him, but Paul had already spotted the bear traps in the jungle earlier. So with great cunning he leads John's foot right into the trap, and John's foot gets caught in it, causing him excruciating pain. Paul takes John's gun and runs away without helping him immediately. John realizes no one is willing to help a friend anymore. After that, Paul comes back home and tells his friends everything. But Sidney tells them he's still giving them a chance to let him go, or it won't be good for them at all. Meanwhile, John frees himself from the bear trap and starts crawling forward. Then he finds a stick, uses it to stand up, and starts moving ahead with its help. Meanwhile, Paul asks Sidney who he really is. So, he tells him his name is Sidney and asks how he knows John's secret. He says he knows all the secrets of his friends, including Travis's dark secret, whom he considers a good friend. Actually, Travis stabbed him in the back. Hearing this, Travis gets shocked, pulls out his gun and shoots him in the head, killing Sidney right there. Seeing this, Leo and Paul are extremely shocked because Travis has also killed a person. Now these three head out from there so they can take the bag full of money and leave. But on the way, John spots them heading toward the money. John starts following them silently. Then in the jungle he finds the hunter's gun, checks it, sees it's fully loaded, and keeps it with him to kill them. Meanwhile, Paul asks Travis about his daughter, and Travis says yes, she's his daughter too because he had an illicit affair with his wife. Hearing this, Paul gets angry and puts the gun to his forehead, but he doesn't kill him and calls him a vile person. We see Sidney, whose eyes suddenly open, and we realize he's not human at all. He goes up to the roof and starts smoking a cigarette, and his wound completely heals. Meanwhile, these three reach the tree where they find the money. As they're about to take the money and leave, John shoots Travis from afar, killing him. Seeing this, Paul and Leo hide behind the tree. Leo tells John that he's ready to surrender, but in return they'll split the money and not kill each other. John agrees to this. He tells Leo to come out, and as Leo comes out without seeing his weapon, he sees Sidney standing alive behind him. Seeing this, he gets shocked and John thinks maybe he's come with some plan, so he shoots him, wounding him. Sidney drags his body to the side, sees his bullets are finished, and as he goes to take Leo's gun, John shoots him in the stomach. Meanwhile, Sidney tells Leo that actually, there are many such animals that hunt in unique ways. One way is that they insert a pipe into the vein and drain all the blood. John thinks Paul is dead, so he comes out, but then Paul appears in front of him and points a gun at him. He immediately shoots John dead. And then Sidney appears in front of him, shocking him, and as he's about to shoot him, Sidney snatches his gun and throws it away, then asks who he is, that he hasn't died yet. Then Sidney removes his fake teeth and cuts his palm to draw blood, gives it to Paul immediately and tells him this is a boon, he'll become immortal and never die. He tells him humans are extremely greedy because for their own selfishness, they can stoop to any level. That's why he's taking him away from human life, there'll be no greed or trouble. Saying this, he takes the bag full of money and a gun and leaves. On the way, he puts the bag on top of another car. After that, we're shown the girl from the beginning and we realize she's actually alive. She gets back in the car with the bag and starts the act again, and we see another guy coming down the road who gets extremely shocked seeing the bag full of money and falls into the trap of greed. With this, the movie ends. And that was the story of this film. Here, Sidney was actually a vampire who was a hunter and couldn't be killed. He said there are animals that hunt in very different ways, and he was referring to himself. His way of hunting was very unique. He first tempted people with money. In the cycle of greed, humans killed each other. Taking advantage of that, he collected their blood and drank it. The girl who was shown at the beginning was also part of his team. She was a vampire who could never be killed. These vampires trapped people with money, and due to greed, people slaughtered each other just like Paul, John, Travis, and Leo did. In the end, Sidney didn't let Paul die and gave him his blood because Paul was the only one who hadn't committed a single murder there. John killed the cop and Leo killed the hunter. But Travis shot at him too. This proved they were greedy and could do anything for money. But Paul was a good person, yet he was betrayed. He was sleeping with his wife, and actually, Paul's daughter was Travis's daughter. Sidney included Paul because his wife was just as guilty as Travis was, so in the future, Paul would leave her and live in the jungle. There, he'll join Sidney and his friend to trap people. So, sir, that was the story of this film, where you saw what people do in the grip of greed. What did you think of the movie? Be sure to tell us in the comments section. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now and hit the bell icon for notifications, and friends, don't forget to like, share and comment on the video. I'll see you in the next video.